Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Simon Crawford from Marineware, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about interior coatings today with my colleagues. Just to let you know, Marineware are a specialist coating supplier. We do coatings and composites mainly in the marine industry, and through the super yacht contacts, we've got involved in interior coatings. We've using those across the marine industry, which has been our historical area of industry. Now we do a huge amount of work in the furniture industry, which my colleagues are going to talk a little bit more about very shortly. First of all, there I am, just to say you that I'm actually a real person. And here we go. I'm going to introduce you to my colleague Joe, who's going to be running the presentation today.
Hello, everyone.
Next up, my colleague Chris. And Chris is another one of our technical sales representatives like Joe. He's going to be looking after your questions today. Lastly, I'd like to welcome Clive Dove from AkzoNobel Woodfear's headquarters up in Blackburn. Hi, Clive.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Hi, Simon.
Clive looks after all the wood coatings technically and also has a background in chemistry as well, so he can blind us with the science, I'm sure. So without further ado, I'm going to send you over to Joe, who's going to take us through today's webinar.
Thanks, Simon. So today we're going to be looking at AkzoNobel wood coatings for interior finishing. Now, AkzoNobel, they market coatings under many well-known brands that I guarantee you would have used before. But today we're specifically looking at professional wood coatings. Would I be right in saying that, Clive? This is for professional use?
Yes. Yeah, we specialise in performance coatings. So we're one of the largest paint companies in the world, operating in 80 countries, 48,000 employees globally. So yes, these are professional finishes.
I gather that people might be, some professional users might already be familiar with some Akzo professional brands. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Akzo's got quite a few brands. We're a big company, so our domestic and trade users are going to be familiar with things like Sikkens and Dulux, but we also have a lot of industrial coatings. So there's Sikkens joinery finishes, which are for industrial use, and I'm sure people will be familiar with brands such as Interpon for powders, Awlgrip and the Spyhorn brands. What we're going to talk about today are aimed at the professional finisher, where they're looking for high demand. So they're branded AkzoNobel and specialist paints with lots of certificates and approvals for good performance. Typically the customers that are using these coatings already are in the joinery furniture and market, kitchens, bathrooms, anywhere where you need something good performance, hotels, schools, bars, cafes, restaurants, things like that. We just need that bit more, you know.
A bit more performance. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Clive. Well, it's important to consider what the end user wants out of these coatings as well, I think. So so there's all these different options that we have with professional coatings, things like gloss level, clarity, opacity of color, what sort of color range you can get, chemical resistance, durability. Can you tell us a bit more about those sort of, rather than the aesthetic demands, more about the physical demands on coatings?
Yeah. Coatings and paints have to put up with quite a lot, especially in severe environments. So the ones that we're talking about specifically today are tuned to have really good stain resistance, which means good chemical resistance, easy clean, resistance to cleaning materials. It's going to have good scratch resistance and hardness, resistance to UV light, things like that. The pigments are going to have to be really high quality. And good heat resistance again for using kitchens, areas where it's the hot surfaces are being coated and used, so drinks, cafes, all that sort of thing. Really high performance paints that they're doing a hell of a lot, you know.
Okay, yeah. We're aware that some of what you were mentioning there with resistance to heat and things comes under certification for certain governing bodies. So there are demands for that as well, which we might get into a bit later.
Yeah.
But there are also demands from applicators in how things are applied and how things work during application, which we'll also look at shortly when we look at a few products. Before we get into that, I'd like to take viewers into the world of coding and naming within AkzoNobel. And this can initially seem quite daunting, but the way that they describe and name their wood coating products is actually quite innovative and efficient for professionals. It means you can quickly decide on what product you need, and you can familiarize quite quickly with different products. So we're just going to bring up a slide here. Could you take us through the top one first, Clive, the quantum color there?
Yeah, I'm quite proud of what our marketing people have done with the numbering of our products. So they're really logical. So once you know the full name of a product, you can work out exactly what it is. So in this case, the top one, Quantum Color. Quantum is our solvent-borne PU acrylic range. The color means that obviously this version's got some color in it. Its short version is QC. T means top coat, so this number is particularly a top coat. 470, 4 means it's pigmented. 70 is a code number, but it also tends to, the higher the number, the better the performance. And the final number is an indication of gloss level. In this case, 90% gloss indicates that it's going to be a wet look, buffable finish. So it's a really clever numbering system. The one lower down, the Acrylic. Acrylic is our brand name for water-based. A is the short version of it. There's no colour, so this is a clear. I means it's an isolating product, which we'll go into in a little while. S is a sealer, and 180 is its code number. So it's quite nice, quite clever.
Yeah, I find it very easy to follow, and certainly it's very easy to catch on. Just moving on with AkzoNobel sort of literature and data sheets, and again your marketing department, they've also come up with this quite handy icon system for when they're talking about the coatings, which they use on both data sheets and in brochures and stuff. So you want to just take us through a couple of these as well? I see these appearing all over the place.
Yes, with some nice brochures, some nice web pages, and really good, very clear technical data sheets, and they'll have these icons on, so you can easily see the kind of product you're handling. So if that icon appears there, then you know it's solvent based. If it looks like a chemical, if there's a drip, then it looks like it's water based. Our natural products are the oils. Then it'll carry some information about mix ratios. Again, these are all on the tin or all on the data sheet, so you've got to try really hard to go wrong. And then regarding application, different application methods. And finally, there's a number of icons which relate to the various certification, and these are on the right hand side on your screen, certification and end uses that the individual paints may have. Okay,
yeah. Yeah, it's something I really like about AkzoNobel, being such a large company and having such power behind them. You do get continuity, as you say. You've got these icons on the tins, you've got them on the data sheet, you've got them everywhere. So before we just pop over to Chris to see if there's any questions, I just want to take you through one of the data sheets just to show you, because in my mind, there's some of the clearest and most comprehensive data sheets you can get for coatings. Again, you can see just on the slide now on the left, you've got the icons. But Clive, they sort of go through in order of process, don't they? It's like all the way from the description of the product all the way to the end and after treatment. You just want to take us through this one?
That's spot on. So you've got your name following the normal naming pattern. You've got icons that tell you a bit about it, a description, what to do what this product is intended to do, some data about it, what you need to do to the substrate, the wood surface or MDF, how to mix and blend, how to mix the material if it's a two component, how to thin it down, what's going to happen to it when you've mixed it, some information about how to spray it, sort of nozzles, tips, viscosities, and how long it dries, how long it takes to dry, what you have to do after it, and then things that you should and shouldn't do. And it all follows really naturally.
Certainly better than some data sheets I've seen, that's for sure.
Absolutely. As I said, you've got to try hard to go wrong.
As I said, Chris, any questions yet coming from the guys?
Yeah, first sort of couple of questions. You say these are trade products. Does that mean that they're not available to the public at all? And also, are they only spray products, or can they be rolled and tipped as well?
You want to take one, Clive?
Yeah, it's a good question. These are professional products. They're not for domestic users. These are serious paints, serious chemicals in there. they need to be applied correctly. Most of them are for professional application by spray. It can be airless, air assisted, air mix, but mainly spray application. Some of them are tuned to be able to be roller and brush applied, and if there's an icon with a roller or a brush on it, they're the ones. But serious professional paints.
Okay, so there we go. We're with the might of one of the biggest paint companies in the world, AkzoNobel, and we're definitely within the realm of professional wood coatings.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on and look at a specific product range.